Hey everyone, Pushing Up Roses here, and welcome back to another much anticipated That Time on Murder, She Wrote. So I had some dramatic life-changing surgery last week and was out of commission for a while, and what better way to manage the recovery time than watching cozy murder mysteries? There was also some light snowfall and I was like, yeah, I want to set myself up with some warm holiday coffee, a blanket, and my girl, JP Fletcher.
Oh my god. JB Fletcher.
As I was deciding which episode to watch, I vaguely remembered a suggestion from one of my followers called Mr. Penroy's Vacation, Episode 3, Season 5. As I watched the recap, it all came back to me. This episode is amazing, morbid, and it introduces Sheriff Metzger. I am so ready for these facial expressions. Give them all to me. So yeah, if you're one of the people who suggested Mr. Penroy's Vacation, congratulations! It's your birthday, she wrote! As we begin the episode, we're greeted by the mayor of Cabot Cove, who is taking a lovely stroll with his dog, Winston. The mayor shows up in several episodes throughout the series and is usually depicted as a naive chump. He runs into Mr. Penroy, for whom the episode is named after, and reminds him to vote.
Vote for me.
I love how unrealistic the conversations in Murder, She Wrote are. Anytime they need to establish a person's name, they just have the characters outright address each other with things like, "Oh, hello, Mr. Mayor. Oh, hello, Mr. Penroy. How are you doing, Mr. Penroy?"
Lovely afternoon for a walk, Mr. Penroy.
Indeed it is, Mr. Mayor.
This is not believable dialogue, and I am loving it. Penroy bids farewell to the mayor, and while he's minding his own business, a rabble-rouser leaps up from behind this bridge and starts making vague threats. I think he's supposed to be dangerous, but he's about as intimidating as a turnip.
Daryl, my boy. What a pleasure to see you.
Who names their bad guy Daryl? These are Daryls. This is not a Daryl.
A word of advice, Daryl.
Never eat raspberries. On his way home, Penroy also runs into a scraggly man named Cliff who bugs him about vague things like the plan and the schedule. Time to check on Jess in her quaint little Cabot Cove house. She's visited by her pal Seth Hazlitt, who I guess needs help wrapping a gift, a hideous tie to be given to Mr. Penroy.
Oh, good heavens, where did you buy it?
I spy Jessica wrapping one of her own books to give as a gift. Get it, girl. Always be selling. As they wrap their presents, they discuss the new sheriff, Mort Metzger, who replaced Amos Tupper from the previous 4 seasons. Seth gets a little grumpy about him being from a big city, and they briefly discuss Mort's wife, Adele. I love the weird conversations that occur throughout the show about Adele. She's never seen, but you can just imagine her character from the conversations Mort, Jess, and Seth have to say about her. Apparently, she's a boisterous former Marine with Hulk-like strength that retired to teach self-defense classes. It's too bad the viewer never gets to see her, but I do like coming up with her character design myself. Right now, she's a mix of the Hulk and Zarya in my mind. Seth leaves for the night, but first he smells the freshly wrapped gift. Paper. Metzger is pretty blasé about the potential dangers of the town. He actually thinks Cabot Cove is a sweet little place with very little crime. Oh, you sweet, sweet summer child.
Sleepy little town like this, what can happen? See ya.
Metzger out. Now we get introduced to a very important component of this episode, the Appletree sisters, Helen and Lillian. Mr. Penroy has been boarding at their house for quite a while, and it's where his birthday party will be taking place. I don't know how to describe these characters. They're spinsters, for lack of a better term. They seem to be unusually laid back, and their fashion sense could use some help. What is this sweater? Never wear the color of poop, as I always say. So this guy is dead? Wait, holy crap, Penroy is dead already? We're only maybe 9 minutes into this episode and he's dead? Okay then. He appears to have died at the Appletree residence, and these ladies are very degaff about it. They drag him out into their garden, dump him in a flower ditch, cover him with a cloth, and call it a day. Despite Penroy's birthday abruptly turning into a death day, Lillian decides to finish making his birthday cake. These ladies definitely give the term death positive new meaning.
I'd better bring up some cider from the cellar for the party tomorrow.
Yes, you do that.
Penroy is now literally pushing up flowers. As people arrive at his birthday party, the sisters start making up excuses as to why he couldn't be there. They tell Jess and Seth that he went out of town, but still wanted people to attend the party.
He said he wanted everybody to come and enjoy themselves. Didn't he, Lillian?
Yes, those were his last words.
Oh my god, Lillian. Cliff crashes the party incognito as a priest that looks like he's been hitting the bottle pretty hard. He looks stressed. He claims to be looking for Mr. Penroy, and when the sisters tell him he'll be gone for a long time, he takes off. The ladies are having trouble keeping up with their finances, especially with their house bills. They find Mr. Penroy's pension check in the mail and figure, why not? He's not gonna use it. Dead men don't need money.
Lillian, your handwriting is atrocious.
Oh wow, that really hurt her feelings. Metzger makes a late-night visit to Jess's house because Tupper told him that getting to know her would be a good idea in case there were ever a problem in Cabot Cove. They have some friendly chit-chat and he makes a statement about having to deal with gang wars in his previous New York precinct.
Yeah, I don't suppose Cabot Cove has had a gang war since the Whiskey Rebellion of 1794.
That was a creepy thing to say. Yeah, I stabbed a fucker. Whiskey Rebellion, 1794. So this guy is also dead. This doesn't look like a gardening technique. Once again, the Appletree sisters calmly dig a grave in their backyard for Cliff. This may take a while. The next day, Jess runs into the ladies who are cashing Penroy's pension check, which she finds kind of odd.
How would you like those bills? Same as always?
Stolen? I love that Jess doesn't drive a car, she actually rides a bike, saving the environment one pedal at a time. She runs into Mr. Mayor and Winston, who seems agitated. He starts to take off, and look at that cute little doggy wiggle. Walk, darling. The smart little pupper just knows something is buried underneath those petunias and starts digging.
Probably a bone buried in there.
That embroidery, it's horrible! During the inspection, they find a silver key around Penroy's neck.
Floyd, bag it.
Oh, nice pass. Metzger doesn't get anywhere with his interrogation because he's a little too brash and the ladies don't trust him, but Jess has a special talent when it comes to gently manipulating people into talking with her soft voice and calm mannerisms. She mentions to Helen that she heard rumors of Penroy asking her to marry him, which she vehemently denies.
We made it perfectly clear that we would only rent to a retired bachelor gentleman.
I cannot tell if these ladies are willfully oblivious or criminal mastermind sirens that lure men into their B&B with ugly brown sweaters and delicious cookies. Because Jess is a master observer, she notices that the napkins in the ladies' home match the embroidery on the cloth that was used to cover Mr. Penroy. Nothing gets past J.B. Fletcher. She urges them to talk to the police, but they have reservations about the new sheriff.
Jessica, we've known you for years, but Mr. Metzger is practically a stranger.
We can't tell him about our collection of bachelor bodies.
All right, now, ladies, I want some answers.
Would you like a cookie?
Yep, criminal mastermind sirens, I knew it. Metzger presses them to talk since they clearly lied about Penroy being out of town, but they are interrupted by Floyd. Turns out Winston found the other body. What a hero.
Another body, Sheriff. A minister.
Oh my god, their faces. This is what I signed up for, these classic Metzpressions. The ladies continue to be stubborn about cooperating, even though their stories are totally unbelievable. Metzger loses his patience and has them locked up. Jess suggests maybe treating them a little nicer.
Floyd, bring him some coffee and sandwiches.
Bitches love sandwiches, am I right? Jess tells Metzger about the pension check she saw the ladies cashing, and later on they go to Penroy's room to search for evidence. I love how Metzger just met Jessica a few days ago, and he's already relying on her for help with the case. Looks like Penroy was about to take a trip after his birthday party. Jess also spots the second murder weapon just right there in the fireplace. On top of these women being completely puzzling and a weird double murder, a new character arrives at the house claiming to be Penroy's wife. What? Who is this person? They inform her that Mr. Penroy is dead. She took that well. Back at the station, Metzger asks the women about the pitchfork. They insist that he can't prove who used it.
There are no fingerprints on that. Helen wore gloves.
They're basically confessing. Why are they so calm? Now at this point, if you think we've already jumped the shark, I assure you, we haven't. A private investigator comes in and informs everyone that Penroy was in on a bank heist and was hiding some loot. Apparently he's done his research because he knows who was in on the robbery. Daryl, Cliff, and some other dude who's been meandering around in the background in a few earlier scenes. Penroy was the keeper of the loot, so everyone suspects that he and Cliff were murdered by the other men. Except Penroy wasn't murdered. Nope, the coroner said he died of a heart attack. It's also revealed that this woman wasn't married to Penroy, she was married to Cliff. This is so confusing. Somebody bring back that dog. He's been the most helpful to the case so far, and I want to see that little doggy wiggle again. Right, so it turns out Penroy died of rejection. He'd gone back to the house the night of his death, telling the sisters he had come into a buttload of money and proposed to Helen. She starts flailing her hanky at him for some non-sexual hanky-panky, and he straight up has a heart attack. Jess is like, okay, but why did you bury him in the yard? And they just frankly tell her it's because they wanted his pension checks. What? What is wrong with these women? They do tell Jess something mildly useful though. Before they found Cliff's body, they heard him in a kerfuffle and shout something that sounded like holy. Jess has her minor epiphany moment and she realizes someone was looking for the loot. Metzger finds the other two men involved with the heist and tries to intimidate them.
Free suckers!
Did he just call us suckers? Even though he has not found the money, he is very confident that he has cuffed the right people. Jess is skeptical. She notices the key found earlier and believes it could be for an old trunk, like this trunk that Helen and Lillian find in the basement. Yep, against all odds, they find the damn loot. Turns out Hard-Boiled McGee is crooked and had been spying on them and wants the money for himself. He actually attempts to kill the ladies, but Metzger comes to the rescue. So there are a lot of suspects for who killed Cliff, but it's none of these people. It's literally this nothing character you hardly see in the episode. Her name is Lee. Somehow Jess figured out that Cliff yelled, "Oh, Lee," before dying, and this woman's name shortens to Lee. Basically, Cliff scored that money during the heist and left her, so she just super wanted to kill him for doing that. What? What? No, seriously, what? That was the most anticlimactic ending. And actually, the real MVP in this case is Winston, who not only found the bodies, but knows how to own a big butt. Right, final thoughts. This is yet another goofy episode of Murder, She Wrote. As you can see, the killer was really not the emphasis here. She was a throwaway character for the most part. What makes the episode really fun is the bizarre behavior of the Appletree sisters. It's one of those things where you know there's an explanation for everything that's happening, even though all signs are pointing to the ladies. Do they just kind of get off for free? They buried 2 bodies in their yard. Surely that's grounds for something. Grounds. Honestly, these kind of sillier episodes are some of my favorite in the series. There are some genuinely serious episodes that have some fantastic acting and plots, but I find just as much enjoyment in the goofier ones that don't go as you expect. The Cabot Cove episodes are some of the best in my opinion, and I love how Metzger is introduced. He gets there all cocky, thinking this town is gonna be a cakewalk to manage, only to get a double homicide on his first day. Love it. If you want a roller coaster of emotions, then definitely watch Beaches or Steel Magnolias. But if you want a carousel of emotions, then check out Mr. Penroy's Vacation, Season 5, Episode 3. If there's an episode of Murder, She Wrote you are dying to see me review, please leave a suggestion in the comments. Suggestions actually account for the majority of these videos, and until then, happy sleuthing. Hey everyone, thanks for watching my video. If you're interested in more murder mystery content, I have so much more to show you, but first, I gotta plug my Patreon campaign. Yes, Patreon, where you can give me extra coffee money if you want to. Even small donations help me keep up my channel, and it helps me to live, so thank you for your patronage. If you don't have the money, no worries, likes and shares also help quite a bit. If you want to see more content from me, the easiest thing to do is subscribe, but if you aren't sure, then check out these 2 videos first. On the left, we have another quality episode of That Time on Murder, She Wrote, and on the right, we have a video about Miss Fisher's murder mysteries. Thanks, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.